Oh, you're upping.
Oh, you don't mean one.
So,
So
as an example here, there's a little nubby, stumpy kind of thing left here.
oh yeah. Yes.
Right here, two little things. This might tend to resprout on us. So you come a little closer to the collar. I do this. You'd be better off.
Told you.
It's hard to do.
That's why I'm not cutting it.
Like that would be a little bit better.
And then there's that one in
So you
front
don't
of
want
you,
no
no,
shoes
the
on there.
other, like really in front of you, going way up high. Up with your head.
polio.
Yeah, I might take this one.
Not a happy tree. Lots of yellow leaves.
This is
Much happier than my seat.
Oh yeah.
All yellow the leaves.
okay. That you can put the scion onto the rootstock, and that union area will be fairly firm. So oftentimes there's one where they'll cut the rootstock into kind of a V shape. So they'll prune on both sides, and then their material they're putting on, they'll do a opposite way V, and then they'll saddle it over and sandwich it together. And there's something called a whip and tongue graft, where you actually cut at an angle from your scion, and you put a little wedge into it, like a little groove, and then you do the same thing on your scion piece, and then that little tongue will slide into the other one. And what we're really trying to do is, if we remember, the vascular, or the area that is alive and moving water and fluids through the plant, is right near the edges of this. And so we're trying to match these up as close to identically as possible. So the easiest way is if we were doing something like this, we would see, and this one's kind of weird because it's not a round shape, so it might make it harder to match, but basically we're looking to where on this root it's the same size as our top shoot. And normally we would want a piece that is maybe 4 to 6 inches long. You don't want something that's too long. It just takes too much energy. You're likely going to have more air trapped in here, and you'll tend to. This one may not be perfect just because of the weird shape. It might be hard to match it up. But basically what you'll do is you'll go around and try and get the same caliper. So we're going to be down into here on this tree, or maybe even here. Oftentimes, maybe to start with, we'll cut our top piece. Oftentimes you'll leave what they call as a nurse branch. So you'll leave something on the rootstock to keep feeding it and keep the plant alive, and that helps it grow. And then it's just to kind of demonstrate, I'll demonstrate on a white sheet here. So remember, on your grafting knife, there's a flat surface and then the beveled surface. And so what we're working on here is we want the cut surface that remains to be the one that was passed over by that flat side. And because it's that flat side that's passing over, it's going to be very smooth and uniform. And so that helps us line up, and it helps us join two very flat, smooth surfaces. Will join together more uniformly, and we'll get good union and good sealing of the two materials. So oftentimes for the whip and tongue, which is commonly done, so you get an opportunity to cut multiple times. So what you'll see in this one, if I pass it around, there's like a groove. it's not nice and smooth. There's like a little bump there. Both sides, I would make one side flush and let the other side overhang a little bit.
If you don't like your lemons, you can make limes.
Yeah, so if you want to put more than one fruit or flower on a
On the tree.
tree,
I see.
that would be
So
way.
is that two different kinds of lychee?
Yeah, in this case I'm going to use avocado, but you
Oh,
could put, so
avocado.
for avocado you could put, we have
Any
3
avocado.
seasons of avocados in Hawaii. So you could actually put 3 seasons worth of avocados on one tree. Then you could have trees pretty much year round.
Wow.
Actually, I might use this one instead. This one's better.
Okay, when you're successful, I'll buy that tree from you.
This is why you pay $20 or $30 for a fruit tree.
That's worth it.
It is kind of an art. You know, honestly, I'm not the expert at grafting. It takes practice, and not everyone, even good people. You know, good people get 80 to 90% success. People who aren't quite so talented. So we're going to remove all of the leaf area. Probably get a third. Something like that. Okay. So I'm gonna
And is that a couple months till you get your result?
Yeah, you should know within a couple months. It will either stay green, and you'll actually see, I'm going to wrap it with a parafilm, but you'll actually see the buds will break through that. So. And if it doesn't, it will probably resprout from that location, and you can just try again later. Pretty forgiving in that way. So I'm going to do that second cut downward into it a little bit, just to create the tongue.
If the graft comes off, you should get fruit sooner.
Yep, that's another reason that we graft our material. You see where I put my little piece? Okay, so on both sides, but what we want is along the edges, and at least on one side, really perfect alignment. So you'll see I have a little bit of overlap on the top and the bottom, but what I'm hoping for is somewhere along these edges, and I only need a few cells to really lock up perfectly for this to be successful. And so one of the ways that once these things are fused together and we've got good alignment, we want to seal it and wrap it. And what's often used, they either have tape that they wrap around or these little rubber bands.
Are there normal rubber bands?
You could use normal. These are ones that are just on one side. I'm going to pull it nice and tight and get it good, locked down there really well. And then a lot of times what you do is you put your finger over it and twist it underneath.
So you cannot use like yarn or anything like that, no?
Something that you can pull tighter is probably preferable, just because you want a nice pressure on that union. So ideally it's not going to move around much. And so what I might want to do is wrap a second. So a lot of farm places will sell this. Now this is actually laboratory equipment they use for sealing up test tubes and things like that. Traditionally people would wax, like they would have a wax that they would put over their buds or something like that. Something like this. On smaller pieces, you can use a razor blade to cut. You don't need a fancy grafting knife. This is traditionally a grafting tape that people would use to wrap with. It's a little bit stretchy, you can pull it tight, so that would be something else. We have these, I was telling you about those tape labels the other day that you can write on, and they're pretty much permanent, so they'll last for years. So you can, so oftentimes, the paper backing for us. Usually it comes apart easily. It must be kind of old.
There's no grafting compound or anything like that you can add to promote growth between them?
Generally, what you're relying on is that nice union. I'm not aware of things that they put there. It's not to say that maybe somebody doesn't have a trick like that. But, I personally am not aware of that being used. Yeah, I think a lot of it depends on your material. You want your material ready to sprout and send out new growth. And you want a nice root system, a healthy root system. And you want them sealed. And so ideally we'd seal this up and maybe leave it in a kind of semi-favorable environment. Some people will graft right in the field if they're really good at it and they have a lot of practice. This material stretches pretty well.
So you don't put like compost, I mean like no material like we did with the air layering. No need
not
for
for
any of
this.
that.
So this may be, this is probably about as long as you would want something to be. This is almost maybe a little bit too long.
I don't know, maybe to the, does it fit? Or you want to go to a point where something that this size gotta be?
Yeah, so it's like down here, right here.
And you would try and cut down
Kind of
into
the
here.
Okay.
So we're gonna cut this part.
And then what you're going to do is try and get those to groove into that other one.
Oh. You're not going to do that?
Yeah.
So you got to just kind of fool around with it.
That.
If you look online nowadays, there's a lot of people doing.
It is, look.
Came over here and you got it.
There you go. And now you just want to make sure at least one of your two long edges is lined up really well. And ideally, maybe both would be. But if you look online, there are people who are doing what they call micrografting, and you get little tomato seedlings or watermelon seedlings, and you put it on
Where am I now?
a resistant rootstock. So if in case of watermelon, you put it on a gourd, and you do it when the seeds just came up, like the stage they're at now. And they have little plastic clips that they do on it. But that's kind of the latest trend is people are doing
I like that latest trend.
on the cutting edge, right?